welcome back to another episode of Intimate Conversations. I'm your host, Sonia B, and we have a very special guest with us today, Torrian Ball.
What's going on, Miss Lady?
Thank you so much for coming. How you feeling?
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me out.
You are very welcome. The musical therapist, the king of relatable rap.
Absolutely.
I love it. So for the people that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Torrian Ball. I'm a small town kid with big city dreams coming out of Illinois. Yeah.
I'm from Chicago, born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
Okay, dude, I'm about 2 hours west, but I lived in Chicago and in the country, so it was beautiful, man.
Okay, so it was just destined for our paths to cross.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
let's get into it. The music. I'm a fan. I love it, by the way.
Thank you.
When I hear it, I hear a man that had some hardships.
Absolutely.
I hear pain. But the thing is, I hear and see that you took your pain and you recycled it.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important thing. And then you took it, found your purpose, and put it in music. So what led you to music?
Honestly, death.
Mm.
Death led me to music. I was supposed to do a talent show with a couple of friends of mine in 6th, 7th grade. And a friend of mine had really bad asthma. And he was supposed to be Biggie. I was supposed to be P. Diddy. We was going to do that.
Oh, wow.
And so, but he ended up having an asthma attack in his sleep and passing away. And so, when it came down to the talent show and all that, nobody wanted to do it. And so I was like, no, I still want to do something for him. And so I wrote my first song, was literally a R.I.P. dedication to my friend.
That is so, it's crazy how life will happen and then lead us to some kind of a path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did the talent show. I had some oak leaf. And, I put the shades on because I was so nervous. And I had my eyes like clenched shut the whole performance while I'm doing it. And then I just remember opening my eyes and looking out to the crowd, and the entire auditorium was in tears.
Wow.
And they had pulled me into the office. I was raised by my grandparents.
Okay.
And so that's, where you get a lot of the logic and the subject matter in my music. I was raised by people from a different time,
Okay, yep.
And they called my grandparents, and they was like, yo, your grandson has a gift. Y'all should put everything y'all have into what he has going on. And they was like, oh, well, he be in the basement.
Doing a little something, playing around.
Music in the basement, but that's good. Thank you. Yeah, nobody in my family did music.
So you the first.
Yeah, I'm the first.
That's amazing. Okay, so you have this song called Therapy, and I know you promote men to get therapy.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, what do you do daily to take care of your mental health?
I talk to the best therapist in the world, God.
Amen to that.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first and foremost. I talk to God a lot. I talk to God like we sitting here having this podcast right now. And I do a lot of things, man. When I get up in the morning, I do a lot of breath exercises. You know what I mean? I kind of set my intention for the day because I'm a very big, firm believer in how our brain works.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get up and say, I'm going to have a bad day, your brain is going to do everything that it can to affirm that thought.
Absolutely.
So I try to wake up with positivity, gratitude. I think about them times when I was in the trenches in Chicago, as you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Shout out to 107 Champlain, keep it busy. But, just being, just knowing where I came from, knowing that I'm living a lifestyle and I'm doing things that nobody in my family's ever seen, nobody in my neighborhood has ever experienced, and being that light for them and that hope for them, like that gets me up every day. And then, of course, my kids,
Yeah.
Just having gratitude of just being able to be a father, being able to provide, like, gratitude and just setting your intentions for the day is very, very important.
It sets the tone for the day. My routine is wake up, pray, meditate, make fresh juice. Yes. Something for my mental, something for my physical, and, hit the gym every now and again. I'm trying to squeeze that in there, but it don't always happen like that. Here's the thing about therapy. Are you a believer in people seeing therapists?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like for our community, for the Black and brown community, we have this stigma with it.
Yes.
You tell a Black person to go to therapy, the first thing they say is, I'm not crazy.
Right? What you think? Crazy?
Right. Like, no.
Yes. but yes, at the same time, you need therapy. Like,
yes, if therapists have therapists, what makes you think you don't need a therapist? But the thing is, a lot of times, or we just think it's only for crisis management.
Absolutely.
Now, honestly, what led me to therapy was crisis management. I mean, life was life, and it threw a right hook and then uppercutted me. Like, I was pregnant with twins. Both twins died, and literally 6 days later, my mom calls and she's like, oh, yeah, so they said I have cancer. It's already spread everywhere. I probably have 3 months to live. So I was like, you know what? You can be self-aware, but what do you do with that awareness? And I was aware. I was always self-aware, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to fight this one by myself. Like, I was private therapy, group therapy once a week. I was like, I need some help. Mentors, everybody, bring it all in. So sometimes, and a lot of times in the community, people are just like, you don't need no therapy. Just give it all over to God and pray. And I say it like this. Everything is like tools in a toolbox. God and praying and having faith is some tools in the toolbox, but there's other tools you need. You take your car to the mechanic, he's not using one tool. He has multiple tools.
You're not giving it to God.
Right. He's not giving it faith without work.
Hey, I fix that carburetor. Let me talk to God real quick.
Right. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
So sometimes you need something in the physical, something tangible. So I'm a huge advocate for therapy. And then let me ask you this. So what would you say to men that are self-aware or struggling with things they identified, but they're afraid to reach out for that help or get therapy?
I tell I mean, just men, women in general, but specifically men, especially for my community. If you are like myself and spent your younger days out in the street, seeing a lot of things in the street, if you ever had to bury a friend, a loved one, whether they succumb to natural causes or traumatic causes, we don't go through life unscathed. And men that come from our community that make changes and make it out of our circumstances, we need therapy more than anybody in this country. We have normalized trauma. Mm-hmm. And we have been told our whole lives not to cry, not to do this. So we have all of this built up trauma inside of us. And the moment we start unpacking that, it's very scary for a lot of men, you know what I'm saying? And showing weakness is something we were told never to do, not to our woman, to our wife, to our friends, to nobody. We're supposed to just be a man.
Because when you, from a little small age, you fall, hurt yourself, they like, don't cry, you a boy, boys don't cry. Yep. Like that's, absolutely. And then you get men, they grow up and then now they're men and they're so detached from their feelings, and it's not because they want to be, it's programming. Actually, they're programmed that way. So
childhood response, you know, one of my most famous quotes is you know, address your childhood trauma or your relationships will.
I heard that. I saw that on social media. It's gonna show up. It's gonna rear its head so many times. Like
every disagreement, argument, you know what I'm saying, like it's gonna pop out. But you know, for my men out there that are afraid to get therapy, you're not afraid to get a personal trainer. You know right. What I'm saying? And so for you men out there, if you go get a personal trainer that knows how to tell you everything you want to know about how to lose weight, how to gain muscle and all these things, a therapist is just like a personal trainer. They're going to give you all the directions you need to manage your emotions, to unpack this trauma. But just like a personal trainer, you have to do the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So wait a minute. Let me touch something you said in one of your other songs. Okay. You said, I'm afraid of love more than I'm scared of death.
Absolutely.
Did you mean that?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because.
What makes you feel that way?
Because the climate of relationships in our generation. Mm-hmm. You know, love is a very scary thing to a bunch of people that are out for self. You know.
Yeah. And then let's sprinkle in a little bit of social media with that.
Yeah.
You feel like social media has altered our view or had a heavy influence on relationships?
I don't feel social media hasn't ruined relationships. Portraying yourself as single on social media has ruined relationships.
And the delusion that you have millions and millions of options.
Yes.
And that's like,
No, you don't.
no, you don't.
No, you don't. And if men and women look at me, no, you don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I'm just, there's plenty of fish in the sea. I'm never going to doubt that. It's plenty of sand at the beach. But I promise you, none of that is anything you want.
No, absolutely.
Nothing out here in these streets.
And you don't even know if it's a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Just because it's an option doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good fit for you and a good fit for your life. You don't know.
Option is a commercial. You know what I'm saying?
That's all.
It's like them insurance agencies. Them options gonna tell you everything you need to know and want to know about to get you to sign up for the insurance.
Yes.
And then the moment something happened, you spend hours on the phone to them telling you why they not gonna help you.
Right,
Why they not
exactly.
gonna be there for you. You know what I'm saying? So, when people think, oh, I get all these likes, these people be in my DM. Yeah, they're in 20 other people's DMs too.
Likes does not equate to a good fit. And for women, most of the likes only equate to they want to smash you.
Absolutely.
It's not like,
let's not sugarcoat it.
It's not a real option.
And men, them likes do equate to that woman wants to smash you too. Don't get it twisted. These women, this women empowerment, which I love the movement, you know what I'm saying? And I support it and I'm an advocate for it. But, a lot of these women, I tell men all the time, they ask me for relationship advice all the time. They're like, man, what can I do to, attract more women? Be honest with them. Be honest with them.
It's 2023. How come we can't just
You know what I'm saying?
say what you want up front? I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a good time, not a long time.
You know what I mean?
And just keep it 100. Like, why are we still lying about it? It can all be so simple because guess what? There's some women out here that are not interested in the relationship either.
Absolutely.
They just want to get their need met and move on, like no strings attached. And you want to go out here and sell them a dream, a story. Is like, I'm going to do this. Right. And it's like that is not even necessary.
God has sent you, you know what I'm saying, from Bethlehem. You know what I'm saying?
I saw in a dream you about to be my wife. Yeah, somebody told me that one.
Like, come on, bro.
I said, no, God ain't show you I was your wife, sir.
But the real thing though, when it comes down to what I tell men, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. What I tell men is that be honest with these females about your intentions. Be upfront and bold about your intentions, because a woman is never gonna respect you if you sell her a dream. If you give her a vibe you can't maintain.
Exactly.
But if you tell her, hey, look, this what it is, this what it ain't, you're giving her a choice.
And she can make the choice right then and there. Yep.
All women, for even, this me speaking from experience, like any woman I gave a choice about my intentions and what I was on, we are still cool to this day because I always gave her that choice and gave her that respect. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, man, give them a choice. And they might, she might be like, no, I ain't with none of that.
And that's okay.
That's okay. You know
now you can go back to your DMs and your options.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You only miss shots you don't take.
There you go. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So, I got to get in your business because I just need to know. I'm nosy. Are you open to love? Are you single? Let me start with, are you single?
Yes, I'm single.
Okay. Y'all heard, ladies. You like, don't do it, Sonya.
I'm single. You know what I'm saying?
Are you open to love?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like from my past relationships and things that I've done and been through and the growth and healing that I've done, I am better at identifying love. You know what I'm saying? Because being an adopted child, it was, I mistaked attention for love a lot of times. Because when I was a kid, I just wanted the attention from the people that made me. I wanted to know them. I wanted to know what that was about. And I was in a household of some, with elderly people that didn't have the energy to invest in a lot of things that were going on. So when I got into the dating world, I thought the female that gave me the most attention loved me the most. And I was wrong.
Yeah. That's where that inner work comes in. Absolutely. That's when you start knowing yourself and actually doing the work. That's where that comes into play. And you like, oh, I was going about this the wrong way the whole time. And then you start discovering you, and then there's self-love. It's layers to it, and then everything just shifts from there. But I'm happy to hear you open to love. Absolutely. I'm
24 hours a day open. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to hear what shifts in your music when you fall in love. I like growing with artists.
Yeah.
And it changes.
Yeah.
So.
And that's it's funny you say that, because this new project that I'm getting ready to put out is called Relationship Goals.
Mm.
And so it's a lot of manifesting going on in this project of what I want, being open to love. And like, I've had, my music talks about a lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of healing, a lot of growth, the ugly parts.
Right.
And so me being this leader in my following and on my platform, I can't just help these people process their emotions and heal. I want to show y'all how to love and to give y'all permission, just like I need to give myself permission to love again and be happy.
That's a great point. So many times we don't give ourselves permission for things.
Yes.
We don't give ourselves permission to be successful. We don't give ourselves permission to be loved or to love. And it's like sometimes we just need to come to the realization that it's okay.
It's okay.
I deserve this.
Yes.
It's all right. Because I hear a lot of people, especially women, they're like, I want this type of man. I want this, and this. But when they lay down at night and put their head on their pillow, they're like, I don't really deserve that type of person. I don't really deserve that type of man. So it really starts with what you believe you deserve. And yeah, for sure.
And conversations with women. Because like, if you look at my social media, you'll see that I'm just not no man you could just say some wild shit to and send a naked picture or something. I'm going to just jump on you,
Right.
Like, you see that I'm an intellectual man and you have to come correct if you come and jumping in my DM. And like, for me personally, I've had conversations with women when they're like, you're intimidating.
Wow.
Because a man that knows his self-worth, a man that has boundaries, a man that's not going to conform himself to what you want is, so you just love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah.
It's intimidating to people that don't have boundaries themselves.
Absolutely.
That's, yeah, absolutely.
So I've dodged a lot of bullets, you know what I'm saying, when women, how you're intimidating. It's like, no, I seen your list, your Venn diagram of what you want in a man and what you don't. And I meet all of these expectations, but the thought of actually being involved in what you're going to have to do to be at this man's level and maintain this relationship as well, I feel like that's really intimidating for women because they want a man to cater to their needs, their wants, to have money but not have a job.
Have money but not have a job. I want the big house, the big car, but I want you to spend all your time with me 24/7.
Vacation 24/7.
Right.
And ladies, if you want a successful man, truly, truly want a successful man that's going to take care of home, that's going to take care of the kids, that's going to provide for you and make you the queen of his throne, you're going to have to deal with a busy man.
Absolutely.
A busy, busy man. And you're going to have to understand that maintaining that lifestyle, providing that lifestyle, he's going to miss basketball games with the kids. He's going to miss Sunday dinners, late night dinners. It's going to be late night dinners. And it's going to be times where, you're going to feel like you're on the back burner, but you have to understand that this man is getting up every day. When he's rolling around in the bed, it's not sleep. He is thinking about ways to provide better for you, to be better for you. And like, I can't stress that enough. A lot of women get bored and they think that, he's losing desire for them. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, he's trying to make an empire for you. And kings, like, people don't really do their research with history. Kings used to spend 6, 7, 8 months out conquering. Just conquer. They was gone for years sometimes.
Yeah.
Just conquering, you know what I'm saying? To come home to their queen and be like, look, this is what all I got for you. So you have to respect that this man's time is going to go into him providing, and resources will always be the most attractive thing.
Yeah. Two people have to be in alignment.
Absolutely.
They have to be in alignment, and the core values have to be aligned. And being with somebody that is on their purpose, you got to understand what comes along with it. Mm-hmm. It's like you got to really know what you're getting into. And then another thing I wanted to ask you was dating somebody that's not in alignment with you or not having the same core values with you, or just connecting with the wrong person can send you in a downward spiral. Your mental health. You agree?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got flashbacks.
Look, take a deep breath. You like family. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, look, I tell people all the time. I've got to know a few people, and I'm like, oh, no. You will send me in a downward spiral. And it took me years to become this woman.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going backwards for anybody.
Yeah, I've been there. I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
So us Capricorns, we are into quality. You know what I'm saying? Not quantity.
Mm-hmm.
We want to invest in our person, and we give people a million chances before we walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I have been aligned with the wrong person before, didn't have, there was other areas that checked out. Maybe the passion was there.
Right.
Maybe, and I think one of my biggest lessons in my relationships was I found a very loyal woman. She was so loyal. And me being in the entertainment industry, that's so hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that just that loyalty was going to be enough. And I later found out that it was not. You know what I'm saying? Somebody not loving themselves, some having their own emotional trauma to unpack. Loyal to the soil.
Right.
But you had so many other things, you know what I'm saying, that was wrong that you needed to take care of, that it made it very hard for the relationship. It made it hard for me to pour into them, and it made it impossible for them to pour into me because they had their own things going on.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to everybody out there that's healing a heart they didn't break.
Oh, that part.
Man.
Oh,
Can I say it again?
yes, say it back one more time.
Shout out to everybody healing a heart they didn't break. Even though that's not your obligation, that's not your job, you staying 10 toes down with somebody and helping them process that makes you a hell of a person. So shout out to y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll never do it again.
I know. It's me season. I'm choosing me all day, every day. It's me for me. And someone recently asked, so why are you single? And I was like, I'm waiting to find a good fit. That's a good fit for my life, that has the capacity to meet me where I am now, and the capacity in for which I'm growing, for where I'm going to be. Like, I really have to be careful and see if he's a good fit for my lifestyle. So I'm not just quick to, it's like, there's a plethora of options. Right. I'm like, no, I'm not too quick to go. And then another thing for me was, for the people that don't know, Intimate Conversations is the sister company of Intimate App. And I am the CEO and co-founder of Intimate App. So it's the last dating app you will ever use. It will be launching in just a few short months.
Okay.
With that, my thing,
yes.
My thing was, honestly, I wanted to find somebody before I had a name out there.
Yeah.
It just added an extra layer of foolishness I have to deal with, because you in the industry, people like clout. People love clout. Like, it's like, how do you decipher? Oh, yes.
It's, you go out with these females, you thinking you finna have a nice low-key dinner.
She on her phone the whole time. You her photographer. Can you take a picture of me walking away?
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
But no, when you got, that's for the rich dudes that they don't want to be seen with to take the pictures. No, they want to be seen with you. You know what I'm saying? You driving, you look over, she, look at Stink. Like, shorty, I don't even know your last name.
Not look at Stink.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
me and Stink on a date. Right. # relationship goals.
Like, hold on, man. What is this? And you can really vet it though early in the game. If you see that somebody is in it for other
right.
intentions, you know what I'm saying, that benefit them in other ways rather than genuinely wanting to be there.
Yeah. But it adds.
It's fun though.
It ain't fun.
No,
it adds layers to it. I was like,
the females is fun. Them people is fun to be around, but you just got to know in the back of your head that you got to rock with them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you everything in the world.
That they think you want to hear.
Everything. They'll be everything you want. That's another thing. And when you're talking to somebody about your passions and what you're doing, and you've looked at their page, maybe been around them or know of them, and know that they don't be on that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's like, but in the conversation, like, yeah, I've always thought about going on a retreat, and you know what I'm saying? And I love your quotes and your prayers. I pray every day, and it's like, I've been with you for like 3 days. I ain't seen one prayer.
Right.
I paid over a meal.
Nothing.
Like, what is you talking about? Like, so just be wary of people that are willing to just conform to everything that you do and act like y'all are just this huge match, because we are all imperfect human beings.
Absolutely.
We may have a lot of things that we have in common and align with, but make sure they have their own identity. Because that's how you get caught with a narcissist.
Oh my, yeah.
Got a song about it? Check it out.
Look, you said this. Somebody can love you desperately with their feelings, but not know how to love you correctly with their actions.
Oh.
I was sitting on my couch crying. I said it was a tearjerker for me.
Trigger.
It was heavy. You should have put a trigger warning on that post.
Absolutely.
Like, I was like, why do you think that is?
Because, well, first and foremost, age does not mean maturity. So let's start there.
Wait, hold on. Let me just interject this. I just said I'm about to start. Look here, if you want to date me, you have to be between 32 and 39. That's the cutoff. Anybody over 40, the older they get.
Yeah, it's hard to teach
old dog
tricks. But at the same time, I know a 32-year-old that's living like a 39-year-old. I know a 39-year-old that's living like a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So that age limit might be what's holding you back from your Mr. Right.
You just don't shoot the messenger.
But back to the question with people not being able, it's just maturity, you know what I'm saying, where they are in relationships. A lot of people can have the fiercest of emotions for you. Just, I love you. This person will love you to death. They'll die for you today. They will go and not eat for days and work hours and hours to provide for you.
Yeah.
But they will still go cheat.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? They still will go and do something deceitful. They will lie to you about something stupid, something small.
Yeah.
And it's this thing, man, this operating system, man, that we all have to learn how to discipline. It's the PET system.
Okay.
Pride, ego, and temptation.
All
of those three things, once you get those in order, that is going to help you have the most successful relationship. And there's so many men and women, because I feel like the older we get, accountability just keeps going out the door.
It does.
Absolutely. Like, you've grown until it's time to be accountable.
And sometimes, like, to your point, sometimes this person can love you to death and still go out and cheat or do something deceitful. I'm going to tell you my experience. I was with someone, and because of him healing his childhood trauma, I had to pay for the sins of his mother. His abandonment issues with his mother. His, the first relationship you have is with somebody is the one from the opposite sex is the one you have with your parent. That's how, the little girls learn love from their dad and vice versa for the men from their mom. And so because of his abandonment issues, I believe this man loved me to death. He put me on a pedestal, but I'm still getting cheated on. Like, he's still doing all these things until I kept saying, like, let's talk about this in therapy. Let's go to therapy about this, until he finally said, I have this feeling, my intuition is telling me that you would never fully trust me or anything because of what your mother did. And it's not intentional, like, oh, I'm going to take it out on you, Sonia, but it's an unintentional thing that you do. And he finally admitted one day, like, yeah, I don't think that I could ever trust any woman fully, et cetera, because my mom abandoned me. And I was like, yeah, you have to, man. You
do the work.
You got to do the work, or it shows up and then everybody else is collateral damage and your foolishness.
Yeah, you got to do the work or you won't be qualified for the job.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do this inner work, it comes out. And being a child that, had abandonment issues with mom and dad, and growing up early in the music industry, I got signed to Twisting Kanye when I was 13 years old.
That's super young. Yeah. Wait, how did this? I'm sorry. You don't have to circle back to that.
You know what I'm saying? But, I was out on tour at 13, 14 years old, so I just got exposed to a lot of things at a very developmental stage in my life. And I had a very strong distrust for women because I was on the road. So I'm seeing women that are lawyers, doctors, teachers, high-paying, high-profile, high-performance women taking their rings off in this hotel lobby.
Ooh.
With their head down, with their friends, going into these rooms, leaving their phones, signing NDAs. Like, it's real. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I'll never trust a female because growing up being taught, it's like, if you want to be a high successful man, you need to have you a high successful woman. And I'm watching all of these high success women doing these things. And so I was just, it messed my head up.
Altered your brain chemistry.
Man.
I'm sure. You like, what's the point of getting a high-valued woman, a doctor or a lawyer, and she
going to do this?
I might as well go get a regular one.
You feel me? So, you know, that took me for a spin for a long time, and it took me a long time to really alter that mind state, you know. Shout out to my daughter, because when a man...
That'll do it.
When a man has a baby girl, a lot changes very quickly.
Yeah.
Chemically. Chemically in here, it's, you know, it's real.
That'll definitely do it. Absolutely. So let me ask you this. What makes a woman valuable to you?
Makes a woman valuable to me.
Or men in general, because you might not want to be out here giving away stuff that's specific to you.
No, what I feel like, well, in a general aspect, a woman being exclusive, not being so accessible, not being so friendly, not so, you know, these.
Wait, Rose, your being overly accessible decreases your value in your worth.
Absolutely.
It's like,
it's so easy to link with you. Every time I look at your page, you in somebody's section, you in somebody. Don't get me wrong, have a great time, live your life to the fullest. But if you're looking for a certain thing, you're looking for a certain man, and he sees you outside all the time, outside is right where the streets are. You know what I'm saying? So the habitats coexist. You know what I mean?
Outside is where the streets are.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, being able to find a woman that has qualities that can't be taught, and can provide things that money can't buy.
Oh, that part.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot be taught honesty, loyalty, being able to know how to speak the king into your man. The things that you provide that money can't buy is peace of mind. Helping this man's life and the structure of his life run smoothly, making sure that you're pouring into him like he's pouring into you. Like having a woman, you know what I'm saying? A woman that isn't afraid. Like, you know, I seen a video not too long ago where it was a woman from overseas, and she was talking about American women and how, you know what I'm saying, how, like, you know, she was like, I have a husband. I chose this husband. I chose him to lead me and my family. And making that choice, if my girl wants to go out to a brunch and my man says, no, I need you to stay at home, I'm going to stay at home because I chose this man in my life to lead. And I'm not saying that you give a man a certain amount of control, but if you want a man in your life to lead, you have to allow him to lead. But
see, most women will hop on and be like, oh, he's controlling her. She should be her own woman.
That's all the friends in the ear saying.
Don't let him control you. You a grown woman. Like, he can't tell you when you can go and when you can't go.
That's why they ass is single.
You got to be mindful of the company you keep.
Got to be.
Yes.
I got a homegirl right now that her homegirl is in a full-blown relationship. And it's toxic. She's depressed all the time, miserable. But she wants to give her all the relationship advice in the world. She want to go through all, you know, like, you know, she got a couple of dudes that she's talking to. She's constantly on their social media, being detective. I'm like, her relationship is in shambles, but she has all this time in the world to research your guys.
Right.
It's like some, you know.
The women are FBI agents, okay?
FBI agents, but it's just masking the attention to the real problems.
Yes.
And she doesn't understand that misery loves company. So this girl doesn't think that love is possible because she's miserable in her relationship.
Of course.
And people are only going to be able to give you advice from the perception of their own lives.
Yes.
That's why us as entrepreneurs, starting podcasts and having apps and stuff like this, you can't speak these conversations around people that don't have the confidence in themselves to accomplish things.
Absolutely.
Because they'd be like, hey, look, you know, I remember being a young kid and saying, hey, look, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to sell out tours. I'm going to have multiple homes. I'm going to do X, Y, Z.
And I bet there were people that thought you were crazy. You can't do that. Yeah. They place their limited beliefs on you.
No, you can't do that. Man, you might as well just go with us and go get this CNC or go get this welding. You know what I'm saying? Like
you want too much out of life. So for those that don't know, I came from a very professional background. I was a nurse for 14 years, minored in nursing.
Fingers out there. Love y'all.
Majored in nursing, minored in psychology.
Okay.
So when I started this app, I sat down with a psychologist. I sat down with so many relationship therapists and just therapists in general to like really give people something that the market was missing with dating apps. Like I'm giving them something substantial and just getting all these perspectives. I'm probably at least over 800 hours in just with having all these interviews off the podcast and just getting new perspectives.
Absolutely.
So I can take all this information that the public doesn't have to pay for therapy for and regurgitate it and give it to people in this app and give them something tangible. But going back to people telling you can't, they were like, oh, you're crazy. You want to leave your steady paycheck. You know, in nursing, you're always going to have a job. You want to leave that and venture off into tech, into something you've never done. And then now you're saying that you're going to do a pre-seed round of fundraising for $500,000. You can't do that. I was like, watch me. And today I've raised over $230,000 for my company. And
Won't he do it?
Look,
Won't he do it? You know what I'm saying?
the door's still open for investors, by the way.
But that's what I'm
But yes, had I let them project their insecurities, their limited beliefs on me, I would have folded. Like I was like, I knew going into this, I was like, I gotta believe in me more than anybody else believes in me. Because sometimes other people want you to believe in their dream more than you do. And now I'm like, no, you have to believe in it more than anybody else. And I was like, whatever happens, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. But that company we keep, those families and friends have a heavy influence on us.
Oh yeah.
Because when you go through a seed round of fundraising, the first place you're going to go is naturally.
Yeah, your inner circle.
Your inner circle. Don't ever do that. I want to avoid people from the strangers will become investors. The strangers will become customers way quicker than your inner circle. And and it's just, it's okay. And the reason for that is they remember who you used to be. Or they remember the struggling person that used to ask to borrow money, or
they are stuck on the most accessible version of you that they're comfortable with. And they will hold on to that. The more you excel, the more you level up, they're going to continue to hold on to that version because that's the version they knew. That's the version they're comfortable with, and they don't ever believe you'll be anything but that.
Yep.
And I've seen it a million times, you know, like I said, being in the street, you know what I'm saying, used to being one of your very stereotypical rappers. I'm a recovering mumble rapper, y'all. Recovering, you feel me? And, you know, I just lived a certain lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And so when I made these changes in my life for me, myself, my career, my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those things, man, where a lot of people, because I did sobriety for 5 years. And it was one of those things where it was like, I lost friends. I lost the people that I thought, you know, was really down for me.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, certain things in your life, but everything that I lost was replaced with something better.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're making changes in your life and you're trying to do something that nobody else around you has ever done, you have to make sure that your faith is stronger than your fear.
Whew. Say that again.
Your faith has to be stronger than your fear.
It does. Absolutely.
And the moment you put your faith over that fear, what's on the other side is everything you could ever want to acquire.
And I always say that all the time. Everything we could ever want and desire is on the other side of fear. I say it all the time. And so, those
out there, get that therapy. That therapy you scared to get might give you that woman you need.
Oh, yeah.
Might give you the patience to go get that job you want to start, that business you've always wanted to start. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop thinking that therapy is for somebody that's crazy. You're crazy for not getting therapy.
Yes.
Stop letting these things. This is why our people have so much hypertension. Our people have so much high blood pressure. Our people have so many internal problems because of all of the trauma that we have. I am somebody in my family that's breaking generational curses. And I put that responsibility on my shoulders, and I wake up every day and I walk around with it. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I was crazy when I started. Crazy. Because, you know, being from Chi-Town, you already know what time it is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so look, people that was close to me, this is what I'm going to say. Your new life is going to cost you your old one.
Man.
And for me, it was like 95% of the people that was in my old
And
life.
put your account negative.
And,
Cost your old one, and it's gonna put that account negative.
it's gonna cost you. Like 90% of the people that, you know, those 10, 20-year relationships, I was sitting down and I was telling them what I wanted to do and I want to do this, and they was looking at me like I had a third hand. Like, who the heck? You went to California for 8 months and now you come back talking this. Da, 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 da. Now you done lost your mind. You know, I don't know what you was in California doing, but like now you come back talking all this. I was like, you know what? This is my belief. The vision and the path for my life is not for everybody else to understand. It's not a community project.
You know why though? Because you can't expect people to work towards a blessing that's only meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you realize, when you see that there's people around you that you thought would have been 10 toes down with your vision and they're not, that means the blessing is not for them.
Yeah.
Blessing is for you. And, you know, another stage of that level up is you crazy when you start. You are envied when it works.
Yes.
And the same people that told you was crazy and the same people that was telling you that it's not going to work, once it does, you still got love for them. You're not holding that against them.
Exactly.
But their guilt.
Yeah.
Because they could have been a part of it. Their guilt of having to look in the mirror and face the fact that you come from their walk of life. You may have their same bloodline. You may have their same upbringing, and they can't do what you just did. A lot of men are in relationships with women, and there's men that are walking around hating other men because a woman is comparing them to that other man. Like, I have people that I grew up with that are in relationships, and maybe they want to do music. Maybe they got, you know what I'm saying, things on the entrepreneur side they want to do. And the woman that they're with are getting their ear and be like, well, why can't you just do this like Torrian? Or why can't you just, my ex was this, why this? Why can't you do this? And men will build hatred for other men in these positions because they're being manipulated. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of fake beef going on in every city, every hood, where it's a man that's successful thinking that that's his homie over there, and this homie hates you because his woman knows that you guys are connected, and she's constantly comparing his paycheck, his status, his car, where he takes her out to eat, to these things, and they can't let go of her. And so what's easier to do in our communities? Hate.
Right.
We're so subject to it.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. I'm pretty sure on your path from A to B to Z, there were some times that things felt very, very stagnant. Oh, yeah. Or you may or may not had a support group. Like, what did you do to keep going?
I created one.
There you go.
You know, the thing about me is I've created my entire brand off my life, off of my most vulnerable moments. And sharing my most vulnerable moments with the world attracted people that could relate to that.
Right.
And so the moment, I was terrified when I first started rapping the way that I rap. I didn't, because I was always a braggadocious rapper. I was a light skinned, female, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty boy. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was that, you know what I'm saying? So like, I was always bragging about having women and things of this nature and being out in the street. And so like, not talking about the trauma that I experienced during that process. And so when I started speaking on that and attracting people from different walks of life, it wasn't just the Black community, it was the world.
Right.
Because I started speaking to a demographic. When you think about it, there's one thing in life that no matter what color, creed, religion, age, race, whatever, no one goes through life without feeling pain in some version. And so when I started speaking the pains that I went through and how I got through them, I just attracted so many people with similar stories. And when you attract people and then you see the effect of walking in your truth, I did not know that talking about the things that I went through would help save lives of millions of people all over the world. The testimonies that poured in, the messages, and the people showing up to my shows. Like last time I was in Atlanta for my tour, a blind girl came to my show.
Wow.
By herself. And she was like, my friend bailed on me. She was like, but I wasn't going to miss this for the world. she said, because she wasn't always blind. So she went through a time where she went blind and there was nothing that they could do about it. And she was like, your music helped me process my emotions and not want to kill myself. And when you see that type of impact on your music, my motivational content, it reminds you. Anytime I get in my head, I feel stagnant, God sends a messenger through social media that drops a comment or sends a personal message, and it just it reminds you of why you're doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a great writer. I can rap circles around these rappers, but I have a purpose. My music is going to live on 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now. You know what I mean?
A legacy. Long after you're gone, it'll be still content out there, floating out there. I get that.
And not just that, but I'm doing it for my kids. So when they get old enough and they start going through the things that I've been through in life, Dad has a whole blueprint in the form of music and content that can walk you through all of these emotions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about this way more long term than a lot of these other people are, man. And it's just, it's crucial.
I love that. That's an amazing story. We gotta circle back to something. Tell me how you got on tour with Kanye and Twister at 13. Wait a minute. 13?
Yeah, 13. So basically, shout out to my mom, RP, love you so much. When after the talent show, because my mom was still in my life loosely.
Okay.
Saying, but I was raised and grew up at my grandparents. My mom was 16. She had me, and I was very sick when I was a child. So due to the bills and the hospitals and all of that, she had to give me up for adoption. My father is doing life in jail.
Okay.
And so, shout out to him too. Shout out. What's up, Pops? You was calling me on the way in here. I'm gonna hit you on the
You gotta call him as soon as this is over with.
Oh no, he's still locked up. So, but he called 3 times a day. He got OG status in Stateville. You feel what I'm saying?
Stateville, Illinois.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna be a nurse there.
Okay. Well, hey,
my boyfriend at the time said, "Ma'am, you're too pretty to go work there. That is not a place for you." I was like, "Oh, it's just fine."
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't. But when, they told my mom that, I was starting to rap, she came to me, she said, okay, this is what you want to do? I said, yeah, so I'll be the best. Watch. You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, so you think you're that good? I said, yes. And she said, okay, bet. So she started taking me to all the clubs, all the bars, and where it was a DJ, and she was like, let my son rap.
That's what's up.
Put me on the spot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in all of these bars and clubs with all of these grown people.
And you how old?
And 13.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And I rap it, you know what I'm saying? But she's like, if this is something you want to do, you got to get over public opinion right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw you out to the wolves now.
Because when somebody throw you to the wolves, either you sink or swim.
Exactly. So she's like, if this is something you really want to do and somebody boo you or something, you going to keep going, then this is something you really want to do. But at the first, sign of adversity, you back out, then this ain't something you really want. And so there was a Twisted concert. And at the Twisted concert, my mom brought us to the concert, me and a couple of little homies, because we wasn't old enough to get in. You know what I'm saying?
Little youngins.
And the MC for the show was doing a rap contest. It was like a crowd participation. He let people from the crowd rap. Whoever yelled the most for the person got to go backstage, Twisted. And so obviously my mom, we get there late.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they had already had a winner. And all of a sudden, my mom had gotten everybody in the crowd to chant, let him rap. Let him rap.
There you go.
And so, dude, he's like, look, we already got one, but hold up, how old is this? Who got this little kid in here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he like, you know what? Just because you here and your mom brought you here, go ahead, man. Let's see what you got. And I rapped, and back then I rapped just like Twista, Do or Die, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Do or Die.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Do you. Shout out to the big bros, man. But I started rapping, and the crowd went crazy. And he was like, yo, bro, I know I told you one, but Lil Shorty got it. You know what I'm saying? And so they took me backstage with my mom, and my little homies were like,
oh, right.
And we go back there, and I rap for Twista, you know what I'm saying? And he's like blown away. And the manager pulls my mom to the side. He's like, yo, we would love for y'all to finish out this tour with T, and we want to bring him out to rap before Twista comes on as like a little Twista. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Get the crowd going. The opening act.
Yes. And so I got to go on tour, and then later on I ended up signing. Twista had a label called Legit Ballin'.
Okay.
And I got signed to Legit Ballin'. I did a bunch of tours. If I wasn't on the road, I got to be in the studio when him and Kanye was making the Kamikaze album. Very humble, very
very humbling experience.
very humble, and a very humble Kanye at the time. You know what I'm saying? And in Kanye's defense, though, I know the documentary came out for a little bit where they was talking about kind of how Ye used to be before his mom passed, and then how he became after. And a lot of people don't understand that Ye was the nicest dude, the most humblest dude, and he wanted to help everybody. He wanted to work with and for everybody. And he was literally just ignored, constantly overlooked. He was providing hits for one of the most legendary rappers in the game. But his personality of being so kind and nice was just at a time in the industry where it just wasn't, what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing. And so I physically seen that being a kid in the studio, watching Ye trying to play songs for, Twista was like, for y'all don't know, like a lot, like Do or Die and Twista are from the West Side. All of their business people behind them are from the South Side. And so I was really close with Twista's manager. And so I got to be in the studio, as a fly on the wall for a lot of conversations. And so I got to learn the business and see that aspect. And I saw Ye, constantly getting told, like he tried to play his single, play his songs for people that was in the studio. And it was like, shut up and make beats, bro. Yeah.
Wow.
Like we ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you here for. You know what I'm saying? So like, I seen that up close and personal. So I'm not as mad at Ye, the person Ye has become, because of the fact that he tried. He really tried.
You seen it. You was there.
Like,
He
tried it. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, that's enough for the nice guys.
Facts.
Yeah.
And so when I wasn't on the road with Twista, I was on the road with Do or Die. So I got to open up for Do or Die on many dates, and RIP to Johnny P. You know what I'm saying? I got to perform with them. When they was on the road, I would do Twista's verse. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just, just to be able to be in the same room at a young age as these legends and learn from them and learn the game from before the internet.
Yeah, before social media was popular. Yeah, absolutely.
Had to be popping in real life. You had to really be him, not just when the camera was on.
Exactly.
And so to be able to take that at a young age and learn it and then grow up in the internet era and do what I do and go viral and do the things that I do, it's, it's a beautiful thing, man. It was a great experience to have. I feel like that was God showing me what my life looks like now.
That was like the little snippet of it, like this. If you go down this path,
get ready. That's right there.
This is what it's gonna look like. That's such a young age to have that experience.
Absolutely, man.
But it's such a blessing. Like you got privy to a
blessing
to a lot of things. Absolutely, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
That is amazing. Like two people just from
Chicago,
like the things we experienced and probably seen at young ages.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not even really, yeah.
I couldn't even put it in words, like a lot of things people don't fathom, you know what I'm saying? And, when it comes to Chicago, when it comes to East Moline and the smaller cities outside of Chicago, it's a mentality that's really hurting our communities. It's a very hard mentality of there is no hope. Change is met with conflict. Growth is resentment and envy. You know what I'm saying? When you grow and you don't want to settle for the version of yourself that was given or the version of your life that was given, and you start leveling up, now you're too good.
Yeah.
You a change. Now you too good.
You done switched up on us. Like, who do you think you are?
And I think I love myself. I think that I want more. I've went and invested in seeing more. I know there's more out.
There's more. This is because people will become a product of their environment.
Absolutely.
I when I first had my first son, I was like, yo, I'm moving out the inner city. I'm going to the suburbs. I'm going to Plainfield, Naperville, because I didn't want my son to become a product of his environment. I wanted him to have opportunities like other kids at nice schools. I wanted him to see that there was more other than this little maybe like 5-6 mile radius. I didn't want him to think
6 mile, 5-6 blocks.
Right. I didn't.
For women,
right.
5-6 miles. But for men, you got
5-6 blocks
here, bro.
That's it. I didn't want him to think that his only hope in life was selling dope. Like I was like, I got to show him something different. And so, my baby is about to graduate next month. So from college. So like. And I was a teen mom. Like, I was a teen mom from Chicago. And I remember family members saying to me, I remember one family member in particular, when I got pregnant at 17, had my son at 18, she said, you're not going to be anything but one of them women that have a bunch of babies and live on public assistance. Well, my, how things have changed.
Well, how this lovely table has turned.
Yeah. But for a young girl to hear that at 17 or 18, yes. Like, what if I would have believed that? Like, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Like, what if I didn't know? Okay, well, let me just have a bunch of babies. And
you right.
You know what you write, Auntie.
I know that's what you did.
Right. That's
so. Tell me, is this the game? Is this what I'm supposed to do?
This is all I have to look forward to in life. Yeah. Right. So I'm so glad you came. Where can we find you on social media for the people that don't know at home?
Okay. Hey, look, well, if you don't know, now you finna know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
My name is Torrian Ball, Torrian, Ball, just like a basketball. Don't make it difficult.
Right.
And that's, /Torrian Ball for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I have a massive following. And I treat everybody that follows me and engages with my content like family, because y'all are a part of my tribe. So stay tuned with your boy, man. I got a lot of big things coming.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I'm here for it. I'm a fan. I'm gonna be right here listening, waiting for the new waiting for everything to drop. So
it's gonna be episode 2 is coming after Relationship Goals comes out. A lot of things are gonna change, and so I'm looking forward to coming back here and updating you and getting updates on your app and.
I'm for it. Absolutely. Well, I am your host, Sonia B, and you can find me on Instagram at Sonia_B_. And thank you for tuning in.